Electricity is exactly like money. And why do we use money? That's because it's said to be efficient. It is efficient as a way to exchange goods and services, etc. So what happens? Everything which we do, we convert into money. And that's why money has become so important in the world, that we have built big systems around it. There's a lot of attention for it. There's also a lot of regulation, and finally there's tax. And tax means that you work from 1st of January to 4th of July for the state, and then you have Independence Day and you start to earn for yourself. I am not against paying tax, because who else pays the policemen, who pays the streets, who pays the bridges and the light which is illuminating our cities in the night. But still, with so much attention and so many rules, it becomes a little bit complex, isn't it? And the same is also with electricity. It has become the form of energy which you can use as a kind of central hub, that everything is going to be converted into electricity, and from electricity you can get everything you want. You can get cold, you can heat, and you can run your computer, etc. And also storage, you do it in a battery. But batteries are getting very expensive, also the materials are scarce, and after all, I think electricity is not something you can eat, just like you cannot eat money. You have always to convert electricity to something before it's being useful. So I would like to invite you to watch this video and to see how you can escape this big system, become a little bit more independent and still stay legal and safe. I will also explain you why the saying "small is beautiful" can be applied also to PV2Com, which is where this video is about. Hello, I'm Norbert, I'm energy engineer, and in this video, number 142, I will let you discover the concept PV2Com, which will make you free. As I said before, electricity has become a very big thing. A lot of attention, a lot of regulations, extra costs, and also a very crowded market on technology and storage, for example batteries. In this video I will tell you how PV2Com will keep you small enough to be safe. You will be like hydrogen atoms. You slip through the obstacles, you slip through the walls, just because they are not yet rules for you. Not yet. So the vision behind PV2Com is that you cannot eat money and you cannot eat electricity. Electricity is just a kind of intermediate form that can make you free in order to have more choices. But still, you are in a big system, and that makes always a little bit less efficient the whole story. So that's the reason that I thought, why can't you just convert the electricity of one PV panel, a small PV panel, and you convert that into a form that is more useful than electricity. So you can store it into ice for cooling, you can store it in hot sand for heating or for cooking. You can pump water from a well into the height and on the roof in order that you have, by gravity, you have always pressure on the tap, even when there's a blackout. And you can also store it in hydrogen. They say not everything can be expressed in money. And in the same way I say, not everything should be converted into electricity to be useful. Because if you convert it into one of these forms that I just said, and which you see also in the picture here, then you have a form of energy that is immediately useful for you. You store it and you can use it as it is. With electricity, even it comes from a battery, you always need a kind of a converter, for example, a compressor to make cooling, and resistance to make heating, or a pump to get pressure. Okay, life isn't always black and white. There are 50 grades of gray. And in the same way, I just say batteries are a good thing, so just use them. But don't think that they are alpha and omega. That's the only thing I say. Just start to experiment a little bit also with this PV to come, with one single panel for each application, for each commodity. And from that you will learn a lot and make your own decisions. My friends and brother in Eastern Africa, they think that the most useful commodity you can produce in Africa is hot sand. And with hot sand, and I mean really 300 or 350 degrees, you can use it to cook. And in this way, with the PV panel, you heat up the sand for hours, and then it will stay hot for hours, and you can cook even if the sun has gone away for a couple of hours. And that is very important according to them, because they spend often about 15 euros per month for a cooking fuel. And that cooking fuel is also dangerous because it creates smoke, and that really kills people. And this charcoal, which is in the most cases this cooking fuel, is also the cause for cutting many trees, and that means desertification, because we are talking about many people who need this charcoal. And then the second most useful application for this commodity is that you make ice. So you have one panel, and as in my last video, which was about 12-volt refrigerator which works with the panel, then you can make ice, and this ice stays cold for the whole night, so you can preserve your food, you can preserve your medicines for the whole night, so 24 hours a day. And that is also very important, of course. And in the case of developed countries, well, it depends on the season, it depends on your situation. For example, if you are in a dry area, you can use one panel to pump up water from below in a well, and you can pump it up to the roof so that you have always pressure on your tap. Or you can make compressed air, or you can heat the water for your showers. Or in the same way with a sand battery, you can make a barbecue and organize a party when the sun has gone away. Or also during a heat wave, you can create cold. Or you can produce hydrogen. At the end of this video, I have a link to another video in my laboratory. In my last video, I talked about how I want to make my first prototype for hydrogen. I don't know if you saw that video, but it was about coaxial bottle, one bottle into another, and those two, they formed one electrolyzer cell. And that was a way to produce hydrogen in a safe way, because you must always separate the two gases, hydrogen and oxygen, because otherwise if you mix them together, then this mixed gas is very dangerous. Okay, so this coaxial principle was elegant and also in some way efficient, but it was very difficult to build. The plumbing was very difficult. You had to open a bottle, and then afterwards, if you built in all the things, then you had to reclose it, and that's a lot of plumbing. So what did I do? I made another concept, just two bottles, one near to each other. And so they are also separated, but it's much easier to make. And I hope that in the next video I will be ready with my first prototype. So what I absolutely don't sacrifice is this separation of the two gases, because only in that way it is safe. And as you saw in the last video, you can do many very exclusive things with hydrogen. And everybody's talking about it. Okay, at the end of this video I would say to you, use your hands, use your brains, and become independent. Without causing legal or physical problems. At least start in a corner of your life. Then learn from it and make a decision how to go on. So my question to you is, what commodity would you find to be the most useful in your situation? Write it in the comments. And finally, I would like to invite you to put your thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. I wish you good energy.